Hello, I am Archivist Aaron, and welcome to my study. And today, we are going to be playing some more Turtle WoW. Now, last time I was playing my Vorlock, and that was great. Also, does all this yelling in the chat mean that the Dragon Slayer buff is going to drop? I don't quite know. I don't I don't remember what exactly does that, but we don't need it per se. I want to get going and get to where we need to be. So we're just gonna ignore the buff. Heresy, I know, but
Well met.
I want to first see. Okay, we have Blasted Lands.
Bless you.
Are we the level to do stuff in Blasted Lands? A little bit. We're a little low still. But I wanted to make sure I could be close to Swamp of Sorrows, because the Temple of Atal Hakar, is the next dungeon that we will be doing, and probably doing a decent bit of, right? Let me just see here. What do we get at Sunken Temple? Do we get anything good from there? I mean, we got plate things. I don't know if we actually have anything we super need, but I'll still want to be doing the dungeon. Just in case. I mean, there's Dragon's Call. Look at that DPS on that thing. No stats, though. And it's a very low drop rate, but, you know, it's something. And Dire Nail, you know, if we could get that with some good stats, that would be pretty great. I like daggers on this character. Chance to hit, that's pretty nice as well. 6 strength, high damage. So yeah, we got some good stuff in there. Let's fly over to here, and I'm gonna make my Hearthstone in the Blasted Lands, because what I usually try to do is I try to make it so my Hearthstone is as close to the dungeon that I'm queuing for as possible, so that when the queue pops, I can just hearth back straight to the dungeon, no matter where I'm questing. It does make it a little harder to get around with my Hearthstone not in Stormwind like it usually is, but, you know, when you're dungeoning, you don't want to have a long wait time to get there. But while we fly, and we're going to be flying a lot for right now, I have a story to tell you. So last night was, oh boy, I did a Maraudon run, which I wasn't really planning on. I just queued up for Maraudon because I'd been queued for a long time before, and it never popped. It just refuses to have groups for me for Maraudon. But I probably started the dungeon at, I don't know, somewhere between here and here on the XP bar, and I ended at, you know, probably a little under this because I turned in a couple quests. So it was a very not XP profitable endeavor, and mainly, I mean, it was going well all throughout the first portion of it. Can I actually bring up the Maraudon map? I don't think I can. How do you do this? How does I don't know if I can actually bring up map, like specific dungeon maps in this. All right, Dire Maul, that's there. Caverns of Time. Is it on this? Yeah, it is on this because it's in Desolus. Can I actually go here? Desolus, Dire Maul. Yeah, I guess it won't tell. GM Island. We have a map of that? Okay, sure. I'm not gonna ask questions. Yeah, I don't see it on here. That's sad. What does the Dire Maul map look like? Huh. I have quests around there. Right, I need to go quest in Feralas. That's what I'm gonna do next. But yeah, I guess we don't have, as far as I can tell. It might be in here somewhere. I just can't see it. But anyways, we went in. First while was perfectly fine. You know, we got all the way up through, I think it was the giant water elemental was the first time someone died, and that was just the healer, but everyone else managed to get out okay. And then all of a sudden, we're getting close to the final boss. And we're like, oh, we skipped the goblin boss, you know, because there's just this one goblin. I hope there's actually an inn here. I mean, there has to be, right? But there's this one goblin boss in Maraudon that they were like, oh, we should go do that. He's just like right down this way, and we'll just do that real quick, and it'll be done. Where's the innkeeper here? There's the mailbox. It might be in one of these two buildings. Are you a guard? You don't tell me anything. Okay. Ooh, I can use, what is it? Is it PF Quest? It is. Innkeeper. Is there no innkeeper in all of Blasted Lands? And that's Redridge. And Swampasars? Okay, what about Deadwind? Because that has this camp here. No innkeeper. None. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess the closest thing then would be Duskwood. Yeah, because you see it shows on the map, the innkeeper. I assumed, because this was an entire frickin' city here, it would have one. So I guess in order to get to this dungeon, the closest I can be is all the way over in Duskwood. That is not good. That is exactly bad. There's Stranglethorn, that's way down there. What else is there? There's a way up there? What about that? Does that lead down there? It does not. Okay. Duskwood it is then. That is not close at all. I mean, I guess with a mount, navigating Deadwind isn't gonna take that long, but I was hoping I could just be right here in Blasted Lands. I could also finish this quest while I'm here. Just to kill some Hellboars. But, what was I saying? Right, the dungeon. So we lost the healer at the big water elemental guy. And then we decided to go for the goblin, and everything was going great. We were pretty confident, you know? And all of a sudden, everything started going south because we wiped like 5 times in a row. Which sounds like a lot because it is a lot. How tough are you guys? I should be alright. But, yeah, so we started dying a lot. Hi. I am not hitting this thing very often at all. I'm gonna use that debuff. We're just not grabbing any. I mean, we're dodging him decently often, but he's certainly not. Let's get some healing going. Yeah, he's just dodging and dodging and dodging. It might be because we have a sword. I got it at the end of the dungeon. But I don't know. It also might just be because these are high level compared to me, 2 levels higher. I'm used to fighting things that are 1 or 2 levels lower than me. But it's doable. I think we just had really bad luck on the hit chances there. So yeah, we went to kill the goblin. And we wiped like 5 times because life hates us. And not to blame anybody, but I completely blame the healer and the mage. Because, you know, when it comes to the basilisks in there, I guess they aren't really basilisks. They're like the... Ooh, thorium. I'll take that if I can get it. Someone else might get it first, but I'll take it. Yeah, so they're like these weird Diametrodon things, the big dinosaur guys with the fins, and in that dungeon they have a 8-second silence or something like that. It was crazy. And normally they're doable because the healer stands back and the tank and all of the melee DPS run in and start beating up the enemy, and everything's just peachy. Everything's fine. But for some reason, we ended up dying 3 times to groups of those dinosaurs because the healer and the mage just couldn't keep their hands to themselves, and they decided it would be a great idea to keep pumping the damage, including the healer. Yes, the healer, for some godforsaken reason, was using Mind Blast. The priest. Supposed to be a holy priest, and was using Mind Blast through half the dungeon. And so they were like doing a bunch of damage and causing issues because they were pulling aggro. Because Mind Blast, it not only takes a good amount of mana and has a good amount of cast time on it, but it also has the, it does a lot of threat. And so there were a couple times where the healer accidentally pulled aggro off of the tank. Are you guys, like, scared? You are scary. Ooh, okay. Steer clear of them. Which, we're just here for the Hellbores, okay? We don't need any of that drama. I hope you guys don't have a charge. You have a charge. Okay. We're taking damage. That's fine. But, yeah, so it was a whole mess. And the mage kept doing blizzard spamming, even though the tank was... You do a lot of damage. Even though the tank was a pally, so when they were being silenced by the enemies, they couldn't use consecration, which meant that they had no AoE threat after the first, like, little bit of the dungeon, or a little bit of the fight. And that was a big issue. That was kind of a large problem, because that meant that then the mage would pull aggro off of some of the enemies that the tank had. And I'm just trying to steer clear of these guys. We're gonna throw again. Try to keep an eye out. Yeah, and so when the enemies run towards the mage is back there with the healer, because, you know, they're the ranged units, they're kind of back in the same region. And he would just pull the enemies over and get everyone silenced. And that was just, it was horrible. Because then the healer can't heal. We're having to try to pull aggro off of the mage, and the mage is dying. And it was just, it's so bad. And that happened like 3 times, where either the healer would pull and be silenced, or the mage would pull and be silenced. And it's like, just hold back on your attacks a little. Just a little, just, you know, just mage, just start doing some single target attacks, you know? You know, the thing that hits one enemy instead of every enemy in the dungeon? Just do that for a little bit. Focus on the target the tank is attacking, because if it's either that or wiping the entire group, I think that I would prefer lower DPS on myself to save the entire group from just straight up dying. So yeah, it was a disaster for that second half, and it ended up being a very non-profitable dungeon for me to be running. Well, thank you for critting me. I appreciate it. I never really explained how this character works. And that AoE is what's really bursting our health down. I'm gonna have some frog leg stew. So yeah, this character's slow and steady, as was the other character. I mean, pulling it up here somewhere. There it is, slow and steady. So yeah, we were losing about 7,000 XP per death, and it was just not being offset by the amount of XP we were getting in the dungeon. It was horrific, and I just wish that they would just be more careful and not get us killed so many times. But there is good news to this story. And bad news. There's good news and there is bad news to this. The good news is I got not only the Thrash Blade from the quest, which is, you know, pretty solid, good DPS, but no stats, which I really hate that. You know? They act like having good DPS is the stats on the weapon. But it's not. I want a weapon with good DPS that gives me a bit of strength, a bit of agility, a bit of anything. Anything at all. Just some stats, please. But no, I mean, and it does have the grants an extra attack on your next swing chance on hit, but I looked it up and that's only like a 3% chance, so if you attack something 100 times, you'll get 3 extra swings, or 1 extra swing approximately every 33.3 attacks, which just isn't a lot. You know, it doesn't seem like a amount of times that would be very applicable. Use Blood Rage, get that going. Man, these guys evade our attacks a lot, even with a lot of chance to hit things. Because I have like, let's see, I have this has chance to hit. That might be it along with these. These are the other thing that I got in the dungeon, and that's what I'm really happy about. It may seem weird that, you know, agility, intellect, male would be something I'm happy to get as a warrior, but that's like, that is my jam. Not the intellect, the agility. Because getting my crit chance as high as possible, and look at that, 21.27% crit chance all the time. That is what we like to see. Can you stop failing? Please. You're embarrassing me, Thorium Bane. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna go turn this in now that we're done fighting those very scary boars, and then we can go somewhere easier. But yeah, so pants are good. I was surprised that I got them. They were only like a 20-something% drop chance, but they were the main thing I wanted from that dungeon, was these 20 agility pants. Because I had 20 strength pants, which were great and all, but they are completely outweighed by 20 agility, which increases our crit chance by a ton, and 1% hit, which is invaluable in most situations. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but 1% hit can be a huge stat for a warrior, especially one with a higher attack rate, because then you're attacking more and you need to be able to hit more along with that. So the guy is here, and then we're gonna head over to Duskwood and set our Hearthstone there for the dungeon prep, which is why we came here in the first place. But it's fine. So, yeah. Pants. That's what we got, essentially. After many deaths and losing a good chunk of XP from the dungeon, at least we got the pants and the Thrash Blade. And the reason I needed the Thrash Blade, you know, to explain this, is because they nerfed one of my daggers. I had 2 daggers. I had this one, which is from Zul'Farrak. This one is absolutely amazing. I mean, agility, stamina, those are my 2 best stats, and lifesteal, plus, you know, decent damage per second, you know, it's pretty good. So I like this thing. This thing's great, and really fast attack speed. So that's great. But the other one that I had, other than, you know, I replaced it with the Thrash Blade, it used to be 50 DPS. Huge weapon. Huge dagger. Alright, Slaughter the Shadow Sworn. I think I'll do that later. Goodbye. I'm just glad that I got that quest out of my quest log, because it is decently full. I actually turned in a lot of quests, apparently. Oh, and I dropped all the Maradon quests, because I was like, I got my pants, I'm not doing that again. Goodbye. Because, yeah, very, very unprofitable. Not worth it to go back in. What else am I gonna get from there? I have my pants, I'm happy. And I finished the quest to kill Princess What's-Her-Face, so that was also a plus. And I swear I was saying something about that. Right, the dagger. It was nerfed into oblivion. It used to have 50 DPS on it, but then they switched it down to 25 DPS, which is literally half of the damage that it used to do. And the reason why it had such a high DPS is because it had its normal damage, and then its stats, which I think was like 6 strength, 7 agility, which was great. I loved the stats. And then it had an additional effect, which was plus 0 to 80 damage every hit. So every time I hit something with that dagger, there was a chance that I would be doing 80 additional damage, or up to 80 additional damage on every hit. That's why the DPS was showing as like so immensely high, is because it was counting in that damage boost, which was very luck based, but it did a lot of damage still. And then when I checked yesterday, ever since I last played this character, they had nerfed the dagger and gotten rid of that extra damage chance, and that halved its, you know, potential DPS, and just killed the dagger for me, which is very sad, because I mean, it was a little under-leveled of a dagger, because it was from Stormrot Castle, which is like a level 40 dungeon, and so it's like 10 levels outdated, but even so, it was a really good dagger, and I was happy to have it. And then they went and they ruined it. and I'm not happy about that. So I had suboptimal damage the entire dungeon until I realized that. And then after the dungeon, I got the Thrash Blade and was like, this is 10 more DPS plus, a built-in Wind Fury chance. I'll take it, I'll take that and have it be my new main hand for the time being. And then I went and had to go get skill for one-handed swords and everything, because I hadn't used them in many levels. It was a whole to-do, but it worked out in the end, luckily. And now we're gonna get our Hearthstone here, and then head to Feralas, because I still have a lot of quests to finish up there. And, scrounging together any quests that we can, even if they're a bit lower level than us, is kind of how the high level things work here. Either you spam dungeons, or you need to... Whatever Stitches is here. I could beat up Stitches. But you either need to spam the dungeons, or if you can't or won't do that, then you need to just scrounge up any quests you can possibly acquire and do all of those to hope to get to max level. Because they just don't give you enough. Luckily, at least on this character, I'm gonna need to do, Blackrock Depths a lot, because I want that Savage Gladiator chain. Is that Depths? Is that Spire? Is that Spire? Shadowcraft. I don't think it's Spire. It's Depths. Right? Tell me I'm right. Savage Gladiator. Yeah. Look at that agility. Strength, agility, stamina, and crit chance. Oh my gosh. It's literally everything I want in life. And the set bonus gives an extra 2% crit chance. Are you kidding me? That is like a dream come true. We are going to need that a lot. And we're going to need some of these. We're going to need all of it. Thank you very much. Now, how do we get to Feralas? We could go here to Ratchet, fly to Feralas. Or we could go here to Dustwallow. Down here is closer flying-wise, and it's a direct path, and it's cheaper. But Ratchet is slightly further away. It's probably faster to go to Booty. So yeah, Savage Gladiator set. It's gonna be amazing. Can I can look at the appearance here. Additionally, I'm gonna add all of these to my wish list on here. Because, oh my gosh. They all have agility. They all have stamina. Why does this have intellect? Kind of weird. But, we're not gonna question these things. You can't even see it underneath my tabard. That's great. But that's fine. Oh, what's this dagger? Intellect dagger? Meh. I don't have fire spells. There's a lot of spell daggers. This one isn't, but it has no stats, and I don't like that. Savage Gladiator Helm. Is that what the Savage Gladiator Helm looks like? Why does it look like I have a broom on my head? I don't know. But we definitely want one of those for the set. So we have, what, 3 out of 4? Yeah. Or 4 out of 5, not 3 out of 4. There we go. I think that's all of them. Right, and from Blackrock Depths we could also get these shoulders, which is 17 agility and 10 and 11 strength and 7 stamina. That's just amazing all around. But it's from a rare. It's like a 25% drop chance from a rare enemy. I doubt, unless I do that dungeon a million times, which I probably will, that I'm ever going to get this. There was also these as a fallback. High stamina, high agility, which stamina is important because my Lifesteal, which I get from in here, is this one? Yeah. While affected by Enrage, Death Wish, or Recklessness, your melee attacks and abilities restore 2% of your maximum health. So every time I hit something with either a melee attack in general or any of my abilities, I get 2% health back, which means the more health I have, thus the more stamina I get, like from these, the better this healing is. And that's pretty huge for, you know, solo play. In groups, it's not as important, but eh. And this, you know, is a prerequisite for that, but it also makes it so anytime I'm crit, it makes it so I get another, like, 8 seconds of lifesteal, which is so good. It makes us kind of invincible in some situations, and it makes it so we get more lifesteal the more enemies that are attacking us, which is kind of huge for us. Because, you know, if you have a lot of smaller enemies attacking you, then you get crit a lot, and then you just have infinite lifesteal, which is just so very nice. Also, don't ask why I have Elixirs of Minor Defense. I've had these since I was, like, level 10, and I've just kept forgetting to use them. I really just need to remember to use them someday. But, I still have them. They're still there. I'll make use of them. Don't you worry. Why is there a bunch of people just standing on that island? Why is there level 17 just standing on that island? Okay, we're not gonna ask questions. That's their business. But yeah. Oh. Spirit of Zandalar. That's actually better than the other buff for us, I think, just because that 10% movement speed is kind of huge. Do I need Deep Rock Salt? I think those are kind of a dime a dozen, aren't they? Probably don't need it. I'm trying to be a lot more selective, because as Void would know, my brain and his brain are very similar in that we are kind of loot goblins. We like the loot. And I'm the same way in WoW, where any item that if it has crafting significance, like Deep Rock Salt, I'm like, I can't get rid of it. I must keep it. But then my bags fill up. My bank is already full of all this garbage. So I need to keep my bags empty so I can actually do things. Alright. 10% move speed. Did I try the parkour? Might as well. Well, I'm just, you know, waiting. I don't know how to do this super well. I do it occasionally. Oh, almost had it. It's something to do, instead of just standing around like a goober. Yeah, okay. You go up to this, now the tough part. Gotta jump to this one. Yeah. Actually, the first jump is the tough part, but, you know, we're just gonna ignore that. Then you walk down onto this. And I think this is about... You can go further, I think, but this is about as far as I go. Can I go further up? Yep. Just keep going up there. There we go. That's as high as we can go. Okay, that didn't kill much time, because we kind of have reached the pinnacle now. But, yeah, so... What was it? Maradon. It did not go well last night. Not that well. We did finish it, though. As I said, we killed the final boss. I got my Thrash Blade, which is decent. Everyone's happy. I wish I still had my Uber Dagger, but they just had to nerf it. It was pretty overpowered, to be fair. But that's why I liked it. It was because it was overpowered and awesome, and I liked it. And now they're just crushing all my hopes and dreams. But yeah. So we're heading over to Ratchet right now, and then we'll fly down to Feralus because we have a few quests there still that I need to do. Oh, and the Sunken Temple. Tanaris. Alright. Well, if that's a Sunken Temple quest, then I gotta go do that. I also have this one that's done that I need to turn in. Why do I still have this one? I don't need this one. Get out of here. I'm not doing Maradon again. It was too scuffed. And I don't have any more good loot from there that I need, so I'm just gonna skip it and go straight for Sunken Temple. Which, hopefully will go better. Maybe. We'll have to see. But this we can turn in Feralus, where we're already going, and this is in Moonglade, which I want to do because it gives a gold and a half, and that's pretty huge. But how do you even get to Moonglade? I think you need to go through Fellwood, and it's like an offshoot from the tunnel here. Because, yeah, Moonglade is... Can you go to Moonglade? Thank you. It's up here through that tunnel or something. I don't know. I don't have to go there as a not druid very often. Alright. Ratchet. Here we are. It's funny, on the earlier stream, this is where my warrior was as well. And now we're back. Alright. Going over there to the Flight Master. Got that good movement speed buff from the Zandalar.
Time is money, friend.
Alright, we can just go to the Thalinar, because there's some quests down there to turn in. Seed of Life, we need that. I was like, why do I have Sungrass? But no, that's not Sungrass. I should probably just put this in my bank. What are my trinkets? Yeah, my trinkets are too good to replace with that unless that's a long voyage. This is a good trinket. 9 agility. Oh boy. Yeah, and 1% crit chance. I think, I don't remember exactly, but I think I estimated it to be that 1% crit chance is equivalent to like 13 agility at my level or something. So it's a lot. And it's a worthwhile ring for that. This could use more agility. They could all use more agility. That's what I want to stack. This one's really nice. Look at that. 1% hit chance, plus 12 agility, 13 stamina. That one I'm not replacing for a while, I assume. I had to buy this off the auction house because I had no good necklace. But agility strength of the tiger is like so good for me. This one could be better. I mean, the agility's nice, but the spirit... I guess health regen. Health regen is useful. Oh, but there was something that dropped for the tank in Mardon that I passed on that I kind of wish I'd gotten, but... You know, it didn't have enough agility for me. What was it? Was it off you? No, it wasn't. It was a trash mob drop, I remember. It was these. No? Yes, no. I don't think so. No, this one, the one had agility on it. But it was shoulder pads. These ones? No, it was not those ones. What did it drop off of then? I wonder if it was a not dungeon specific blue BOE. Because yeah, it was like plate shoulders that were brownish in color and had good strength, agility, and stamina. But I let him have it because my shoulders have better agility and I would be losing agility to take it. And also, he would need it more. So, because I'd probably just replace it eventually anyway. So yeah, interesting run. Hopefully Sunken Temple goes better in the times that I do it. Oh, but speaking of everyone dying in Ragefire Chasm, kind of a morbid time to bring this up, but I'm excited for the next patch, because apparently they're adding a new level 13 to 16 dungeon in the next patch, which is going to be huge, because I think it's in Dun Moreau, actually, because it was, what, Frost something? You know those trolls in Dun Moreau that always are harassing the dwarves? I don't remember what their clan's name is, but, you know, the Dun Moreau trolls. I think it's a dungeon with their faction, and it's decently low level, which means that the Alliance side will finally have a Ragefire Chasm equivalent. You know, I mean, Ragefire Chasm is like... Does it show me on here? All available dungeons? Yeah, 13 to 19. This one's like, I think it was 13 to... It said 13 to 16, another thing I saw said 13 to 20. So yeah, it's basically Alliance Ragefire Chasm, which is so useful, because it's always so annoying as every Alliance character. You have to go and, like... Oh, this person was going here too. Twinsies. But yeah, every Alliance character, you have to go and level up in Elwyn and Teldrassil and Dunmorrow, and then you go and do Westfall to get all your frickin', you know, Dead Mines quests, and you have to be like level 21 or 22 to be fully prepared for the dungeon, and then it's just such a headache every time to get ready for Dead Mines and not have any dungeon gear before that. And Dead Mines isn't easy. Like, you're having to go into Dead Mines without any dungeon gear whatsoever. The Horde at least can have Ragefire Chasm gear, but unless you can get a Warlock to summon you up to Ragefire without you having to go past any guards, you're kind of just screwed as an Alliance character in that level range. So I'm really excited to have a dungeon for that area. And it's also nice because, as I was saying yesterday, this is kind of the issue with Blizzard that Turtle WoW is unaffected by, in that Turtle WoW actually makes content for the lower levels. Blizzard doesn't. Blizzard sticks to the high end of the level spectrum and just keeps piling on more and more and more and more content at the top. And everything at the bottom wastes away to nothing. Do you need help? Also, you should probably not run into those guards. Are you just auto-running into those guards? No, you turned off. Okay, good. It's one of those, like, watching a car crash type of situations where I was just like, I know that I shouldn't watch this guy get obliterated by the guards, but I can't look away. It'd be too funny. But, oh, you are fighting the Spirit Wolf. Okay. Well then. I always saw that Spirit Wolf there. I didn't know why. I guess it's a shaman quest. But, what was I saying? Right. Blizzard. And how they keep putting more and more content at the top of the levels instead of at the bottom. And case in point is where, apparently, I was watching this video. I still watch videos about retail WoW, even though I don't play it. Just because it's funny to me. And apparently, just recently, they hit a milestone, which was in the latest stat squish, minor healing potions, you know, the healing potions you get all throughout all low-level zones in the game, officially hit 0% or 0 health regen. Because they used to regen, like, I think, what, 25? Somewhere around there? 50? An amount of health. And now they give exactly 0. There's 3 of you, that's probably fine. Come at me, you wee scrubs. The more you hit me, the more I enrage. The more I enrage, the more I heal. Let's have multiple enemies for every meal. And they're all much lower level than me, so... They're still green, though, which is nice. Running away. So annoying. Just stay and die like a good enemy. Get him. Thank you. Alright. Yeah, this guy did. But yeah, it's very nice to see Turtle WoW actually putting effort, ooh, a crown, into the low-level areas and still fleshing them out, putting new content, making it more even, like putting a Ragefire Chasm equivalent on the Alliance side, as it's huge. Are you really just gonna walk? My man just walked up and was like, not my problem, I'm gonna go back over here. Jimbo can deal with that enemy themselves. Thank you very much. This guy just got his gun over there. Alright. Well, you do you, I guess. Doesn't matter too much. Oh, there's the enrage. Did my whirlwind just hit him way over there? Get him with the throw. Can you stop netting me? I want to go over close to this guy. I am in range of that. That's crazy. Alright, can I move? Thank you. I don't like the enemies that run away. I just want them dead. Really? And you're in the sweet spot of me not being able to hit you with throw. Come on. Get back here, you wee scrub. Thank you. Jeez. Alright, we got more trappers back there. It doesn't really matter. We need the alphas, I think. I don't know where exactly those are. I guess they're kind of down in the southern camps more. Let's start heading that way. But yeah, these enemies are right on the cusp of turning gray, which is kind of the perfect level range to make it easy enough that you don't have to like worry about dying all the time as a warrior, but also hard enough, not hard enough, but like high enough level you're still getting XP for it. Because yeah, questing goes real slow, like if you're fighting enemies your level or above your level as a warrior. You aren't critting me enough. Starting to run low on HP, which is just unfortunate. Why do you run so fast? My man is like a marathon sprinter. If that even, I don't think that exists. Too far away. But you know, a marathon, you don't really want to sprint a marathon, but you know what I mean. That man runs fast. I don't like it. I got mystics, which you don't need to kill. Where's all the alphas? That's what I'm worried about. Reavers. Okay. Reavers and alphas. Alright. It looks like mystics, reavers, and alphas are all kind of in the same region. And then we need to go back up to the trappers and stuff to finish them off later. You have a nice axe there. It looks like it does a lot of damage. Also feels like it does a lot of damage. Also, why you punch? You have an axe and you punch me with your other hand as your attack animation. Why is that? Bro is just holding the axe to like feel stronger. It makes him confident, and then he just goes about punching everyone. This guy just straight up doesn't have a weapon. Maybe he's just such an alpha, such a giga chad that he's like, nah, I don't need it. I'll just punch him. And then he gets angry and runs away. You're not supposed to do that, you know. I'm pretty sure when things go... It's because I'm enraged or something. Why am I still in combat? I don't like that. But yeah, when an enemy goes into a frenzy or berserks, they're not supposed to run away in fear after that. That's like, it's supposed to be in place of that. But he decided to do both. He got angry and was like, I'm gonna run away, but not because you made me. Just because I want to. So let's see. Well, we're making decent progress on the kill task. That's always a good thing. I don't like that the mystics are just kind of all over the place and they're not needed for the task. So they're just kind of taking up space over here. But it is very nice to have this Thrash Blade, because it does a lot more damage. I mean, look at that. My Whirlwind now does 150. Which, to be fair, these are low-level enemies that have lower armor than the enemies in Maradon, but still, that is a lot more damage than I was doing in there. Because they took my main hand dagger and halved the damage on it. It's just unfair. Oh, you are critting me very much. Thank you, good sir. I end up with more health after the fight than I had going into it. There's no more good enemies around here. Except in that group, but... we're not going to bother with them right now. There's an alpha in there. 2 alphas. Reaver. Oh, but they're kind of fighting it. Alright, I'll leave it be. Oh, hi. This place is just crawling with people all of a sudden. You mind if I just steal this? You're not killing that very quickly, but might I suggest a wand? I mean, Smite works. Not that well. Alright, well everyone's kind of clearing that place out. I'm gonna go back up to trappers up here for a moment while they do their thing. I also know that over here, it's like a big plateau area with a lot of alphas and stuff, so we can head there next. No crits. Come on. It's always sad when they don't crit me for a bit and my health goes down. I can always, you know, start it myself, but... Because, yeah, I have like 3 different cooldowns that start the lifesteal going on. I can either use Blood Rage, which doesn't take much HP at all, as I can show here, 123 damage. It's like 2 hits worth, maybe 2.5 hits worth of self-healing after it's activated. So very much worthwhile. And then Death Wish it's kind of counterintuitive, but Death Wish also gives the Lifesteal, so that is like my best defensive cooldown, because for 30 seconds straight I can just get infinite Lifesteal, and it's so very efficient. You guys are kind of alone up here. Oh, he trapped me right on the fire. That's rude. Oh yeah, I'll get off the fire there for a minute. Oh, schematic. Nice. Alright. Well, we're not done with the quest yet. We still need to go kill the alphas and stuff, but I'm gonna take a bathroom break real quick. So I'm gonna go to, not end, BRB, and I'm gonna walk a short ways, and then use my handy dandy, what is it, Shadow Meld. That is it's such a nice thing of being a night elf. You can just, anytime you need to AFK and not want to log out, you just Shadow Meld, and nothing will see you. So, I will be back in like a minute or 2 or 3, we'll see, and then we'll kill more gnolls. Alright. I have returned. Ugh. Of course, right as I get back, as you can see here, right as I get back, it says you are now AFK away from keyboard. Like, come on, man. I got back. I'm not AFK. Don't do that to me. But yeah, I don't know why. My body just does not like eating or drinking in the morning. It never has. It never has. But for streaming, I kind of have to. Because it used to be that to avoid stomach aches and other such problem. Oh, here's that guy. I always wonder if that guy's like a rare that I should kill. If I should just leave him be. But yeah, to avoid said problems, I would usually wait until like noon or 1 or 2 or even 3 or 4. Not that long. I think 1 or 2 was most often where I would eat back before I started streaming. But since I started streaming, you know, I had to eat before the stream. So before 11, generally around 9:30 to 10:30. So that I wouldn't die during the stream. Like, you know, because I would stream up through, sometimes up through like 3 or 4 o'clock. And that just, it's difficult. And for some reason also, if I don't eat, but I like talk a lot and do a lot of things, for some reason I get like numbness all over the place. I don't know why. It's kind of concerning, but you know, if I just eat, then I'm fine. But at the same time, then I eat too early and my body's like, hey man, why'd you gotta do that? You're not allowed to do that. Now we're going to kill you. So either way, it's kind of a lose-lose, really. But that's just how it be. Alright, we're almost done with the Reavers, but the Alphas are really the big issue here. He kind of migrated over that way, it looks like. These Mystics are just everywhere, which is probably because they're all spawning and nobody is killing them. Because they're not for the quest, which means that the place slowly gets overrun with Mystics because nobody takes the time to actually fight them. That actually makes a lot of sense, and it really sucks. Alright, well, we're done with Reavers. We just need Alphas now, which are seemingly the most rare. Because I'm sure everyone else went through this and was just like, alright, we're done with Reavers, now we just need Alphas. And then they just killed all the Alphas. And now there's none for me. Because they all respawned as Mystics. Let's see, is there... Nope, Mystic. Let's go up into the hills here. More Mystics. Another Mystic. What else we got? Probably more Mystics, if I were to guess. Ah, Reaver. Equally not what I need. Can I go around you? Barely, yes. Okay. Can't attack while my eye. I did not mean to press that button, but that's fine. Reaver, Mystic, Alpha. Okay. We'll fight one of you. I wanna see what your abilities are. Do you have healing? If you have healing, then fighting a whole group of you guys is going to suck. You do have healing. I forgot what button Pummel was on. Oh, you have Pummel. Now we're fighting a Reaver as well. Oh my gosh. Reaver. They're all Reavers. Almost 2,000 on a crit execute. That is amazing. Hey, Alpha, you want to come down here with as few of your buddies as possible? I'm going to come over here to get Lightning Bolt Man to come into melee range. Hey, got that blood craze. What, did you auto-target the Alpha because I misclicked? And then you pummeled the Alpha who doesn't even have spells? Good job, warrior. You're very smart warrior. That's all that intellect on your pants. It's making you big brain. Doing the advanced plays. Preemptively pummel the melee enemy in case they have a secret spell, you know? Reaver. 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 Mystic. Mystic. More mystics. Reaver. Alright, well, I'm gonna clear probably this entire place because, as I said, I think the issue is that nobody's killing the mystics and they just keep respawning. Everything keeps respawning as mystics because of that. So I'm just gonna be the one to bite the bullet and kill a bunch of mystics. Because I hate them. We can leave the Reavers if they're kind of out of the way, because people still need those for the quest. The mystics are incredibly worthless, you know? Like, exactly for nothing. Pummel is so efficient. Like, 10-second cooldown? That's great. No alphas anywhere to be seen. Just Reavers and mystics. Alright, 2 mystics at once. Can this reach? Nope. Whirlwind can, though. Let me get this for my own healing. Accidentally hit cleave on a single target. I was meaning to hit it on that one, but that's fine. You know, we're a warrior. We have a lot of leeway to work with. Usually. Alright, well, we mostly cleared all the useless enemies out of this one. So hopefully the next person to come up here will have plenty of Reavers and Alphas to fight. Because, yeah, it's a bit of a problem. All these mystics. Like a infestation. I love all the crits. Crits are just my favorite thing, because they come up in like a big bold letters, and it's just like, you did it. You're an amazing person because you crit. It makes you feel good about yourself because it's popping up big numbers like that. Big numbers. And even with the crappy dagger that I had, that, you know, was the one that got super nerfed, I still got set the damage meter in at the start of the dungeon, so it wasn't just that I had like 5 million damage on file from earlier and then it transferred over. It was only in the dungeon, believe you me. But, you know, it'll be nice to be doing the higher level dungeons, because then we can do a lot of good stuff. Get a lot of good gear. Even some gear, like the Savage Gladiator chain, is probably, like, pre-raid best in slot. For me, at least. Oh no, YouTube is not responding. Who cares? YouTube can handle itself. Alright, come with me, Mystic. Thank you. Get away from that Reaver. What is this belt here? Stamina strength? What is my current belt? I'd be missing out on a bit of agility and and strength. It basically just gives me armor at the cost of damage stats, which is not worth it in my opinion. Let's see. Alphas. They're probably all up in the camps, aren't they? Yeah. Because that's the only place that not everyone can just run in and clear. Plus, it's the only place where people would clear the less wanted enemies. Oh, this is 3 alphas? I'm taking all of you. Thank you. Just, I would like a crowd, you know? There we go, enrage. Enrage again, or maybe that was his enrage. Going on a friggin' marathon again. Get out of here, man. I'm gonna stand on this side of you guys. Hopefully you run that way. Not into that dude. Try to hamstring you guys as well. Hamstring you so you can't run. Thank you. Alright, that's all the alphas. Delightfully devilish, Seymour. Ah, that quest. Freedom for all creatures or whatever quest. That one is a doozy. I should be able to solo it because I'm much higher level than the place, but we'll see. Because you have to like escort this night elf around the camp and kill a bunch of things. Apparently I need a grim mallet from that guy, who's actually closer to my level, so that's gonna be interesting. So yeah, you got all these guys, you need to open the cages. I remember this quest bugs out a lot. So there's that. How do you get up there? Gotta go up and around this way. So hopefully they made it so this quest is more consistent, because let's see, use the cage key. So yeah, you need to kill the enemies until you get a cage key, and then free the sprite darters from the pen, and at least 6 and her must survive. It is a mess. Are you wanting to do it? I don't know.
Farewell.
He's like a mile away, so we're just gonna assume it's fine. It's only a 6-minute quest, though. Now, where do we get the bamboo key from? I don't quite know. I think it just drops off these guys around the cage, but... Wow, you're fast. Okay. There it is, too close. Can you aggro? Thank you. Can you not shoot through this? Thank you. We got 2. That's probably fine. The more the merrier, that's what I always say, except I never say that, except now. You give me a key? Nope. You give me a key? Nope. Maybe the raiders that give the keys, specifically? Hi, raiders. Oh, that double crit. In the dungeon, I got a whirlwind that crit like 5 enemies at once. I don't know if it does like an individual check for each enemy, or if it's, you know, just like one crit check, and if the whirlwind crits, it crits on every unit that it hits. I don't know that per se. But should I have gotten the bamboo key before starting the quest? Also, isn't the lady supposed to be with me somewhere? Could have sworn she is. She's kind of left me to my own devices. Because, yeah, it says she's supposed to survive, so she's supposed to be here doing the quest with me and helping out. She just kind of effed off to the Shadow Realm for some reason. No key. Can I just open this? I can! Unless, did she give me the key? Oh, she gave me the key. Right, but we kill a lot of the enemies around here so these things can survive easier, because they come out and spread out, and then you need to make sure that at least 6 of them survive escaping the camp. That's why you gotta clear it first. I'm remembering. You just interrupt your own raft to turn into a bear. Weird. But alright. Oh, breastplate of agility. You're speaking my language. I'll check that out in a minute. Make sure these guys fly away into the forest. Of course, you guys are going like the least efficient route. You could just go directly that way, but no, they're like, we're just gonna go straight through the enemy camp. Won't that be great? I think my chest piece is too good. Oh yeah, way too good. Look at that. Regal Gold Forged Breastplate. 14 stamina, 19 agility. Ooh. 8 intellect. I'm a very smart warrior. Probably the smartest warrior that's ever existed. Because I have so much intellect. Because for some reason, agility pairs with intellect pretty commonly. I guess that makes sense because like shamans and druids. Oh, now you want me to kill a bunch of enemies. Oh, thank you for the delayed kill task. These quests, I'm telling you. But I remember having to do that quest like 5 or 6 times because the enemies just kept respawning too fast and all the sprite darters kept dying. Alright, we'll head up this way, because up in this area, if I remember where it is, I think it's just up here. Alright, we're not going up the cliff yet. It's kind of down this way and then up the cliff to the left. Because, yeah, there's another camp of these guys that we can clear out. And this is where the boss guy is. So it's advantageous for us to make our way up here rather than just keep farming them over there. Can you unnet me, please? Oh yeah, heal over times. Oh, I see. They just turn into the bear if you get close to them. Okay. So it does interrupt their spell casting. But they don't flee as a bear. Because I guess they're an animal, so they don't run in fear. That's kind of nice. Everyone knows when an enemy runs in fear, it's like the most annoying thing ever. And then they pull all their other guys, and then you're chasing them down for like 10 years. More raiders. It's a good thing that I'm over leveled for this area, because these guys, if they have like the regular aggro radius, is actually kind of scary, because they're kind of bundled up in here. Especially with the buildings. How is he still in melee range? I don't know. Alright, we got a patrol over here, which... Okay, they're going back. I would have been fine with pulling them, just because 2 enemies at once isn't that bad for this character, but... Alright, but I think the boss is in here, yeah. Alright, well, 2 enemies at once. Not too bad for this character, as I was saying. Man, you're fast. Thank you for the mallet. And now we need to clear the rest of the place out because we need more of the everything for our kill task. You know, the kill task would probably already be done if they had just given that to us at the same time as the other quest, but they couldn't do that. Hey, you. Psst. Get over here. I was netted, but I still wanted to fight more. Can't be letting that threat or the rage go down on you. And you always need to be going to the next enemy. Okay. Well, that's just rude. Hey, you, go find some more enemies. Bring them over here. Tell them I sent you. Same with you. Spread the word. Thank you. You did very efficiently. No healing for you. And with the cleave. And with the execute so he doesn't run away like a pansy. I mean, it was funny. A while back, I had a bit of a competition, an unspoken competition, with this other warrior in one of my dungeon runs because they had a two-handed weapon. What weapon was it? It was a really good two-hander. I think it was the whirlwind axe. And so I was trying to see if dual wield good weapons can, you know, match the legendary whirlwind axe, which it's only like rare. It's not actually legendary, but you know, it has reached the point of being legend because everyone has it. But I decided, even as a warrior, to forego the whirlwind weapons because I don't know. I like the dual wield too much. I didn't want to give that up. So I just went with dual wield the whole way, and they were whirlwind axing, and I was competing with them, wanting to like prove that dual wield is viable even at the peak level of whirlwind axe. And they were doing slightly more damage than me depending on the fight, because you know, we were pretty much neck and neck, but sometimes I would crit a lot in a engagement, and sometimes I wouldn't. So my damage was just kind of up and down and up and down, and theirs was pretty consistent all the way through. So I think they ended up beating me slightly, but they actually ended up being really nice, and I ended up talking to them. And it's really funny because they were actually going for being a crit build because they were full fury. I looked at their talent tree, and they were a full fury whirlwind axe user, and they said that they always do two-handed weapons even as fury because the only thing that makes it so fury is dual wield is this one talent. So as long as you don't get this talent, far away, where are you? What? Okay, thought it was lagging for a second, but he was just inside the tarp. But yeah, if you don't get this and you just go straight down, then you can actually be Fury without any reason to be dual wield, per se. You know, there's still a few other things like, you know, crits and everything. They're this, but that it affects two-handers just as much as anything else. So yeah, it was odd because we had basically the same reasoning for opposite playstyles. We both wanted big crits. We both wanted to hit things real goodly. It's just I wanted fast big crits and they wanted slow bigger crits. You know, I mean, they were probably critting at that point where I was probably critting for like 200. They were probably critting for, I don't know, like 500, 600. Because the whirlwind axe, it does so much damage, but it's so slow. So I could get like 3 crits in the time that they get 1 crit, evening it out pretty well. And you know, there are some good one-handers in that level range. Not as many. Oh, we're done with shamans too. Okay. We just need naturalists, which apparently there aren't many of, because I've only killed 2. Go around the long way here. Hope that the raider doesn't pull, because we don't need him. Dang it. It's fine. Just pop the cooldowns, kill him fast. Make it like he never existed in the first place. Oh. One way to make it so it's like someone never existed in the first place is a 1,400 crit execute. Like, that is overkill to the greatest degree. But, you know, I find execute to be a bit cheap, you know? I mean, I like execute, and it's very useful, especially against bosses. But the issue I have with it is when you're using a damage meter, it kind of throws off the numbers. Because I could be doing way worse than everyone else in a fight, and then right at the end, I get an execute that does like 80% of it is just overkill. And yet, I still would jump to like the top of the damage meter because I get like there, 1,400 instant damage. And it's like, The enemy had 5 health left, my guy. How is it that you actually counted me as doing all that damage just because of the execute? So, yeah, I've been in dungeons where warriors will spam execute even on enemies that are like super low health, and so their damage meter numbers will be really inflated compared to what they're supposed to be. And it is unfortunate. Since both these places seem to be getting kinda either empty or camped, I'm gonna come back to this later. We're gonna head back this way and turn it in, maybe? Or we could grab this. And these. I guess we'll do all the quests and then go turn in all at once. I can't get up here, can I? Oh, I can. Nice. Okay. Yeah, because, you know, there's 2 different ways of thinking. One is I should do all the quests at once and then go turn in all at once to make it more efficient, because then you just do as many quests as you can in one outing. But then there's the other train of thought, which is, oh, well, if I go turn in now, they might give me more quests after those quests I turned in that I can then do at the same time while doing the other quests out there. So it's certainly a difficult choice to make, which one you want to do. But this should be interesting. I think this is the big ogre compound that we're going towards here. For this tier of Zalmos or whatever. Is that what it's called? Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. Nice. I thought I totally butchered it. Big old monkey. You know, it's weird that, you know, monkey is the, you know, name of a type of primate. And yet, I don't know, I feel like the word monkey has just become kind of connected to any primates. You know, like if you see an ape, you could very well just say monkey, and everyone would be like, oh yeah, you're a monkey. Even though technically, classification-wise, it's not, you know, obviously everyone knows from everyone's favorite show, VeggieTales. If it has a tail, it's a monkey. If it doesn't have a tail, it's an ape. But at the same time, you could easily call an ape a monkey, and people will know what you mean. They're not gonna sit there and be like, actually, it's a monkey. Or it's an ape, not a monkey, or whatever I am trying to say here. Hopefully I'm not gonna steal this from this guy. Is he still using the axe from... What is it? Scarlet Monastery? That's the spinny attack? That is a very outdated axe. That's like more outdated, I think, maybe, than my dagger was. Also, why can I use my mountain here? Warlord, that's not who I need. Who do I need? Why am I here? Is it actually in the middle here? Maybe I should actually read the quest description instead of just going here and hoping I'll figure it out. Oh no, it's just sitting in the middle. Alright, well that's easy. Geronimo. Alright, you just grab this, and you know, I'm glad it wasn't an enemy we had to kill, because then I would have rushed ahead and killed him before that guy, and then he would have been very sad. Should I bother with you? It could be faster just to let you walk away. And, you know, you're a shaman and all that. Probably have healing. Take a long time to kill. Very annoying. Okay, yeah, so that's another one to turn in over there, so it's good that I got this first. Now, this one I know you turn in over here. But we're in the neighborhood, so I'm gonna go do it anyway. And maybe I'll go up, do this, turn it in here, and then fly over to here. Just to minimize our travel time. Would waste a bit of money, and I am quite frugal, but... yeah, no. We'll see. Probably only a few silver to fly back, and that's like one junk item at this level. Now, I am wondering, for my max level mount, there is Stormrot Ruins, a guy in here, this one, that drops this mount. There it is. 0.2% drop rate. I do wonder if I were to go and farm this dungeon, because it's pretty low level compared to us if we're, max level. Could I just farm that, you think? I mean, you just run in, speed run to the one guy, burst him down, and then go and reset? Like, you can probably do that like 10 times a day or something. I don't remember how many times you can reset a dungeon. Which, if the percentages are additive, which I don't think they are, but if they were, then that would mean that you would get like 10.2% chances a day, which, adds up to 2% chance to get it in a day, which would then mean that you just need to, on average, do it for 50 days. And then boom, you have a free max level mount. Whoop-de-doo. I don't know. It probably would be a horrible idea. But it's a max level mount. Requires level 60. And I think 150 riding is the level 60 riding training. So that would save you like 1,000 gold. Or something, however much it is. I've never bought a tier 2 mount. I've always felt like it was way too much money to be worth all that. Because, I mean, sure, you get a slightly faster mount, but, I mean, on one hand, I have this mount that is already fast enough. I have the turtle, which scales with my level and riding skill, so I think that would actually end up being as fast as a level 60 mount for free. And I never do the auction house that much. This is the only character in recent memory that I did the auction house decently enough. And, I mean, that got me the first level of riding, but I don't know how it's going to get me the second level of riding, because that requires like 10 times the amount of money I have now. Though I guess once, I'm higher level, I won't need to deal with like training or anything anymore. And that'll probably save me a lot of money. Plus, once you're max level, any quests you do, including, I think, dailies, it transfers all the gold you would have gotten into... what is it? Yeah, you did... Not any of the gold you get into XP, it's all the XP you would have gotten into gold. That's why my brain was short-circuiting, because I said the first word I said was wrong. And I was like, how does this end up the way that I think I'm trying to say it? And it just didn't. It didn't math out, and it confused me greatly. But alright, we gotta kill these. Oh, level 48. Enemies around here are actually starting to catch up to me in level. But that's fine. No dang Yetis are gonna be taking me out just yet. Maybe the Winter Spring Yetis, because they're scary, but these guys certainly not. Well, maybe they don't run away because they're rage scars. Oh, he hasn't run away yet. Nice. I'm so glad to be fighting enemies that don't just run for their mom every time I'm gonna kill them. Because it's very rude, you know? Just keep getting all that good lifesteal. Thank you. 80% drop chance, so we shouldn't be here long. I'm not 100% sure. It might be the other Yetis that do this, but I'm pretty sure you can get the skins twice off of each enemy, because you have a chance to get it off of skinning them as well. I remember that was a thing on some Yeti somewhere. I'm gonna use the Blood Rage just to help recoup some of our health here. Of the bear, you say? I'm gonna pull you back because I think there's a patrol there. You're just not critting me, are you? That's unfortunate. Well, guess we gotta eat some food. I have a lot of outdated food. I don't use my consumables nearly enough. Cause yeah, I have okay, when I was fighting all the raptors in wetlands like 20, 30 levels ago, I got an insane amount of raptor eggs and I boosted my cooking skills so high off of it. But the problem is that, you know, I never ate them. So now I have a bunch of low-level buff food that I can just use randomly to gain a boon. Which, you know, it's always nice to have more food rather than less, but still, I never use it. And I need to. I should. But, you know, you don't need to use it in dungeons because you got a healer, you know? They heal you up already, so... Don't need to waste any food in between fights on just healing back up. So why are there ferocious ones and just normal ones? Like, this guy's not ferocious? I think it's a rude thing to say. He looks plenty ferocious to me. We got the non-ferocious man. I don't know what the difference is, really. Do they just not enrage? Also, you may notice me using my whirlwind a lot against single targets. Mainly, that is because I feel like single target whirlwind is better than heroic strike. Hear me out. It may do slightly less damage for quite a bit more rage, but it's an additional attack. Heroic Strike simply buffs the attack, the next attack I'm already gonna be doing. Whereas both Bloodthirst and Whirlwind... Oh, Elder Rage Scarce. This guy's just old. Alright. Yeah, both Whirlwind and Bloodthirst have their own attacks that aren't dependent on my own attack speed, which is super nice, because that means I get more hits, which means I get more crits, which means that I get more flurries, which means that I attack faster. So all that kind of adds up to overall better. Even if it seems rage inefficient. I am also like drowning in rage the whole time, so no real reason to spend it all when I can just kind of keep up these two and be happy. Alright, you two. Your time is up. And now, Cleave and Whirlwind are probably the most efficient, just because Cleave is adding... It is on my next attack, but it is adding one extra target. Man, you guys are just not hitting me with any crits. But yeah, that's what Blood Rage is all for. So you can just do on-demand healing. Alright. Well, let's start heading out. I'm sure there's one out here that I can get. I don't have to go deeper in to do it. Because everyone knows going deeper in when you're in a WoW cave is not a good idea. To like any degree. Okay. Ferocious Rage Scar. There's a lot of you. That's fine. Get this guy killed. There we go. And he does give us the thing. Now we can go back to town, which should be over here. What do you want? Moro grain. I think it takes Ungoro soil, right? Blah, blah, blah. How do you get Moro grain? It doesn't tell me. I think that something in here, this. Evergreen herb casing. Yeah, then I don't know. I don't know why I have this. I don't know what you do with the Moro grain. Who knows? But we're just gonna head in there and see what happens. We can turn in that quest, fly back over to the other place, then go finish this quest out. Now that hopefully the place isn't infested with a bunch of other questers. Alright, and the boat's actually here. I thought we'd have to swim it. That is a plus. Because, yeah, this is a weird boat in that it's actually more efficient if you've just missed the boat or you see the boat leaving within render distance. It is far faster, like a good minute or two faster, to actually run and jump into the water and just swim straight across to the other side than it is to wait for the boat. If the boat's already there, I think a one-way trip is faster, which we could actually test it. Boat is here. We're just gonna swim. And we'll see if we beat the boat there, or if the boat beats us there. Because I'm pretty sure it's rather even. Even if you leave at about the same time as the boat, it's pretty even the time it takes for you to swim and for it to not swim. Sail, that would be the word for it. Because, yeah, look, it hasn't even left yet. It has to go all the way around. It goes, like, from here, all the way around here, and then dock, and all the way back around. So it's a long route. Yep, there it goes. We'll just kind of keep an eye on it as we keep swimming, because we're like over halfway there already. Keep kind of aiming towards the town. And it's pretty fast. I mean, look at it go. But will it beat us there? Because it still needs to go all the way around the island. And I'm starting to see the shore in more detail, which means that we're practically there. And it's just flying off into the sunset right now. They can summon her at Huckar. Interesting. It always sucks when you join a dungeon group and they're already partway through the dungeon. You're just like, I wanted to do this dungeon. Now it's like already 90% done. Alright, and these aren't better. This isn't better. That's a nice amount of money, though. It's not better. Nothing's better. Leather working. Eh. Protection. Water. Food. That doesn't stack with my other food. Random meat. Engineering. Spirit. Alright. We made landfall. And now you see, no boat. So swimming, even with the boat at the dock, is actually still faster. So I don't know why that boat is there. I guess for people who are thalassophobic, they don't want to get in the water, but honestly, it's just so much faster in every single way. There's the boat. See, we would just be getting off the boat right now instead of turning in a quest. Hey, level 52, which is actually huge because every level I get is another level that I can't lose XP in, because earlier I was losing 7,000 of my gained XP every time I died, and now we don't have any XP to lose. We're, you know, in a new level, because it can't de-level you, which is really nice. So I was gonna put points into either this or this to get up to here, because we still need 2 more points for this. So let's go for more tactical mastery. I need to get a thing going, a macro, to put me into battle stance, charge, and then put me back into berserker stance. So I can start out fights with that extra, you know, extra rage. Okay.
May the stars guide you.
So now we fly back, turn in those quests. Where's the flight master? It was right over here, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright. Go turn in all those.
Greetings.
It will be delightful. Man, and the rested XP just never runs out at this point, which is so nice. I mean, I haven't been getting rest bonus ever since I started the stream today, and we've only taken down like 10% of my rest bonus. So that is very nice, especially with all the tents that are everywhere in Turtle WoW. And the tents like can get you up to max rest bonus in a matter of like 10 minutes. It's just so efficient. I can actually make tents. I just don't, because I don't have any of these materials. But I could. You know, I definitely could. Ooh. I think I know who that guy is. And that guy's tough. Rip to them. Yeah, I saw a hunter one time that was dying to that mob, and it's surprising because the mob's not even elite. And hunters are usually really overpowered. So I was surprised to see a hunter struggling with him, but yeah, he's just a tough enemy, because he may not be an elite, but he is like the quest goal, and he's the only quest goal, so he's like kind of a mini boss mob kind of thing. So yeah, it's really sucky when you see people dying to him, but it's unavoidable. They're scary. So let's see. Yeah, so we just need naturalists here. Then turn in these 3. And if there are no subsequent quests, then we're pretty much done with the entire zone. These we can't do because they're just a repeat of the earlier quests. And I don't know what they even give as rewards, because they're not even dailies. They're just repeatables. So I don't know if they still give any XP or rep or anything. I don't know why you would keep redoing it. But not something we need to worry about right now. So we go up into the tower, I think. Maybe at the base of the tower? Yeah, okay. Alright, and this is a low level quest, so we don't care about that. Give you the mallet, get some money. Go to Darnassus. Alright.
Good luck.
Finish that. Oh, that was the kill task to kill all the furbolgs. Go over, talk to this guy, and then go turn in the other quest, the Maradon quest that I did earlier. And then we'll come back here and I guess fly to Darnassus to finish that other quest. Venture to Gilneas. I was just there. I wasn't just there, but you know. Maybe I should queue for Gilneas again when I go over there. What can I even still get from Gilneas? Did I go past it? Gilneas City, there it is. Because, yeah, I don't know what else I would even need from there. Because I know there is, all the way back here, there's these shoulders. They give me a 1% hit chance, but it would take away my agility. I mean, hit chance is nice. Where am I going? We're not there yet. So yeah, the shoulders might be nice, but not needed. This is what I really wanted from there, and I got that, so I'm happy about that. There's this, which would be nice, I guess. Turn into a worgen. Become the furry that I was always meant to be. But aside from that, oh yeah, and there's the charger, which I think is also a level 60 mount, with another 0.2% drop rate, and in a higher level area. But you know, can't retrieve the item information either. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't need to queue for Gilneas anymore. Actually, I might not even be able to. No, I can. I'm still within the level range, just barely. Yeah, it would be weird to see me queuing for it. I did go through it numerous times looking for those shoulder pads, but they never dropped. That's why I got the agility ones, I think just off the auction house, and then called it good. Now I'm just waiting for higher level dungeons to get them from. Hello, good sir. What do you give me for this difficult quest from a dungeon? A gold! I mean, 50 armor penetration might be nice, but...
Till next we meet.
I don't know. Doesn't seem that impressive to me. But alright. We can go kill naturalists, or we can go to Darnassus. We should probably do the naturalists first. Because, you know, they need to be dealt with. But yeah, we need to go past the Horde town, which I'm still so annoyed that they decided to just put the Horde town right in the middle of the roadway. Which, I guess, to be fair, our camp is kind of in the middle of the roadway through Thousand Needles. But still, like, you know how many times I've almost run into those guards? Because I'm just AFKing down the road and not looking where I'm going, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of Horde guards directly ahead. It's like, that's just unfair. This is a major roadway here. You can't just block it with all your Horde-ness. Yeah, we might do Fellwood next. Have we done Fellwood? I don't think I have. No, I have not done any Fellwood. It's still a little higher level. Maybe I'll wait on it. But where would I go next? What about Telebeam? Nope, way higher level. How about Lapidus? It's yellow. Prefer to wait until things are green. Where am I going? I am going this way, but not into the town. Around the town. Where else is there? Gilligim, I think that's higher level. No, it's actually slightly lower level, but still. A little too high level for me. Once again, I like things to be securely in the green, just so you can kind of coast through it without, you know, it being like, ah, you pulled 2 enemies, now you will either run away or die. Because that's how it is with warriors. They are not exactly the best at group battles. I can do it because of my lifesteal, but only if the enemies don't out-damage the lifesteal. And usually they do if they're anywhere near my actual level. Especially if they're above it. We'll head around here. And then we could also go about not winter spring. No, I mean Ajara. Ajara, we're almost there for Ajara. So many places that were like almost high enough level 4, but not quite. Like Winter Spring, Fellwood, both those islands that I showed, and Telebeam. Just kind of everywhere. We're just barely not high enough for. Which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Alright, now we just need the one type of enemy. That's you. And nobody else. So we'll try to kill only them so we're not taking kills from other people doing the quest. But there's a shaman right next to you. Just pull without him. Never mind. Well, 'tis unfortunate. Chain lightning. I'm the only one here, you silly shaman. Stormcloth shoulders, you say? Nature spells. I wonder who that's for. Cloth nature spells. Because druids usually want leather. I guess they don't need leather, but... Oh, great. The one naturalist in the camp is right smack dab in the middle of everyone else. That's good. To get to them, we're gonna need to put in some elbow grease. Alright. I would have liked if I could have just skirted around the side. But I should just need to kill these three. Because if I went around the back and pulled this, I would have pulled that as well. Don't pull the raider. You don't see me. I can't believe that worked. Okay. They don't actually see me. Somehow this little torch just blocks all of their line of sight. I love it. Why are you so fast? Get back here. I swear, they made it so the enemies use like a sprint buff when they run. They didn't used to do that. I don't know why, because they're all so fast. Ah, more Stormcloth shoulders. Good. I needed 2 recipes for that. Oh, hi. I need you to be dead. Here, come this way, so we don't get the patrols. Thank you. I shall reward you with a somewhat quick, very much not painless death. Alright, we're halfway there. Let's go to the other camp and see what's going on. Another raider. Just get up the thank you. Raider naturalist. Okay, we got another one there. Slow and steady, you know, just one at a time. We'll get all these guys dead. I have to kill this raider along with it, but raiders are a dime a dozen. Who cares if we kill them? I mean, the raiders themselves probably care, but who cares what the raider thinks? You know, medical shows are so weird. Like, a lot of them are just, they're just bizarre. Because you've got, like this morning, I saw a random clip because you know there's a lot of random clips out there of these medical shows that are just being ridiculous. But apparently the show, there was somebody who I guess tried or did in the show. It completely doesn't seem feasible, but it was saying like, this person, they flushed a newborn baby down the toilet. It's like, how? Unless the thing is like incredibly premature, how is it gonna fit down the toilet? It just wouldn't. Most likely. And then they were just like, it's still alive in the walls. I don't know why I sound like this. It's a weird accent to give these investigator guys. And then they go and like chop the wall open and cut open the pipe. It's like, how would the baby be alive in all this? It was like, first of all, if it was flushed down the toilet, that would have been such a violent thing that it would not have survived it. It would have been just completely mangled to bits if it was small enough to actually fit in there. And if it wasn't, which it didn't look like it was, like the head was the same diameter as the toilet pipes. So it's like, how did it even fit through into there? But even if we, stretch the imagination to the breaking point and say, okay, maybe it could have gotten in there, you still need to ask the question, how did it survive? Because the shoulders are usually the widest part of a human. If you can see the top of its head wedged almost perfectly into a pipe, that means its shoulders are freaking obliterated. Like it makes no sense. So, if that baby survived, it would be almost 2,000 execute. Amazing. Yeah, that baby would be scarred for life. Not like mentally, but like physically in every way. I'm just gonna kill both of you because you're kind of both here together. So yeah, medical shows are crazy. And I could probably see that that's part of the appeal of them, is that they're just like, what other zany, crazy thing are they gonna have these people doing this time? Like, not just there for realism, but just kind of there because you're along for the ride of whatever the heck the writers thought up this time. Just like, oh no, this person is choking. Jim, get the fire axe. We need to excise a part of their, entire throat and just rip that out. And then I'll take a piece of my tube sock and suture that in as a temporary esophagus so that they survive. Like, something like that. That's what they do. And it's crazy. Like, how do you think of this stuff? I mean, I just did. Actually, it might be exactly how they think of this stuff. They just try to think of the most crazy, unrealistic thing that could possibly happen that's just dramatic, and they throw it in there. It's like, yep, that makes sense to me. Put it in. Because it is weird. And maybe that's just because I have rudimentary medical knowledge, and so to me it's ridiculous, but to the average person they're just like, oh yeah, a tube sock would be a good replacement for an esophagus, wouldn't it be? Yeah, it's kind of the same shape. Who would think it was any different? It makes sense. Who knows? Maybe that's the average person, but for me, they're ridiculous. And but there's so many topics that I'm not knowledgeable about that I'll watch a video talking about this, and I'll watch the first clip that the person's critiquing and be like, oh yeah, that looks decently reasonable. I don't know much about the situation, but it kind of makes sense. And then the person that actually knows the subject will cut in and be like, you know why this is dumb? Because this, and this. I'm like, oh yeah, you right. A tube sock wouldn't work as an esophagus. Yeah, making sense now. Like at first glance, if you're not at all like versed on the subject, you very much can fall for those things. But if you know anything about it at all, you're gonna be sitting there scratching your head like, how does anyone believe this? It's a very weird system. Weird the way that it's all set up, but that's just how TV is. And it's difficult because I'm wanting to maybe watch was it Dr. House? Is that just what the show is called? I don't know. House, or no, it's House MD or something like that. I don't remember. I've never seen the show, but I've seen clips of the show, and half of the clips, it's like, if you've ever seen Dr. Mike talking about that show, half of it's like, how the heck do you know that? You didn't do enough tests to get to that diagnosis. This is all just like very malpractice-y. How are you doing this? And then the other half, the half that I would want to watch the show for, is just House is so snarky. It's so funny the way he just manipulates people so casually because he thinks he's always right, and like 1/4 of the time he always is. So it's like, I don't know. I would want to watch it for his personality, not for the hijinks that ensue. That, where he's some sort of like incredible doctor that can diagnose anything without any actual tests. Because apparently that happens a lot. Once again, I've never seen the show. Maybe that's just like a few clips that does that, and all the rest are actual like normal. But who knows? I do kind of want to watch it though, just to watch him absolutely tear people a new one. Because it's pretty funny, at least the clips that I've seen of it. But I already have a lot of shows. I don't watch shows enough to have as many shows on my plate as I do. Because I finished... Okay, I have a lot of anime specifically. Because I keep starting ones and then not finishing them, and then they're just kind of on the back burner. Like, I started One Piece, which I heard... First of all, One Piece is a huge freaking undertaking to watch. It is a lot of episodes. And I heard that after the first arc, or kind of near the end of the first arc, is when things get good for it. So I want to stick with it until at least then. And then apparently it's amazing. But I am only like, I think 5 or 6 episodes in, and then I got distracted with other anime. So I'm currently watching the remade Rurouni Kenshin from, I think, Netflix or something. That's going to be a long flight. Okay. Well, we're just going to AFK here for a bit. I'm probably just going to end the stream and do the rest of the flight off stream, but I'm going to talk for a little bit longer because I'm in the middle of talking. But yeah, I'm watching Rurouni Kenshin, the newer series, which the original series I still feel is better, just storyline wise, characters wise, music wise for sure. I mean, the original soundtrack for Rurouni Kenshin was absolutely peak, but yeah, no, I digress. The new soundtrack is not bad, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not the original, and you can't replace the original. And yeah, so it's, the new stuff's not bad. It's basically if you're fine with sacrificing a bit of the original storylines and character developments and music, then you can trade that in for a bit more animation showiness, you know, because you actually get to see Kenshin go at like supersonic speeds and absolutely obliterate people, which is fun. Whereas in the original series, they didn't have the animation budget to, you know, be able to show that. So basically when Kenshin does his thing, he draws a sword and you just hear a swing, and then you just see one line through a bunch of people as it like pans across them as they're in like a still shot, and they're all like, ugh, you know, and so it's just like, one move and he hit all these like 10 people and now they're all knocked out because he's amazing and he did it, and you didn't get to see any of it, but he did it, you know? So it's still great. It's just the only major improvement I can see from the original series to the new one is the animation quality, in that they animated more of the combat and more of Kenshin's moves and stuff. So that is a plus. That is a good thing. And it's still entertaining, and still, you know, they are keeping it rather on track, you know? It's staying true to the original anime pretty closely. Which is nice. As I said, some story has been changed for some reason. I don't know why they would change some of the story elements of it, but they did. But it's fine. It's all good. And then I'm also watching, I finished once again, because I heard that they had a whole nother season of My Hero Academia since I last watched it. And apparently that's the last season, because I've now watched it. I finished it, and it's done. So that's kind of sad. But yeah, so I watched that again, and it's done and off the table. And then what else was I watching? There was a third one. I just can't remember right now. I was watching one called Black Clover, but it wasn't bad. It just seemed like the mixture of a bunch of different, like, tropes and other things that other animes did well, just all shoved into one universe, you know? All put together into one thing. And so I was like, I feel like I was a little overwhelmed while also a little underwhelmed with it. You know, it was still entertaining. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's a bad series or anything. It's just, it was both too much and too little. You know, too much going on, too little originality, if you ask me. But, you know, still interesting series as far as I got. I think I only got most of the way through the first season before, you know, stopping. But, yeah, there's still that. I could still go back and finish that if I want. What else was I watching? I don't think there's anything else I was watching that I can remember. But yeah, so I don't really need to be adding more shows onto my list until I've kind of dealt with those and at least make a little bit more progress into One Piece. I want to not get more distracted before I actually get further into that and see the point at which people say it becomes really good. Because so far, I don't know, so far I'm kind of just sitting there like, what's the point? You know, not in a bad way. Not everything needs to have like a central storyline with a big like villain to be facing and progress being made towards that, but I guess it's just because right now his main goal is just get a crew, go to ocean, and that's it. And I'm just sitting there like what are we fighting against? What is the, you know, every episode is entertaining, but it leaves that kind of question in your mind, like, what is the purpose of this? What is the big, like, overarching storyline here? But I'm sure by the end of the first season, they will have gotten the crew together, probably, and set out, and we're gonna discover what the big, like, what the big idea is, what the big storyline for it will be. Because as of now, I'm still just kind of scratching my head, like, when are we gonna get like a central point to all of this? Is it just a bunch of people following their dreams and everything's kind of happy-go-lucky and they go around and beat up evil people at every turn? Because I mean, that's not a bad thing. It just seems a little without purpose, or without direction, I guess I would say. But yeah, I guess I will end stream here. Go to the end stream screen so I can end stream while ending stream. And yeah, we will be back eventually. Oh, people are dying in Rage Fire Chasm again. Why? How do so many people die in Rage Fire? I mean, it's not that tough a dungeon. Especially because they're all like level 15 and 16. Like, that is a good level for Rage Fire. But yeah, whatever. You know, it sucks to be them. Sad to see them dying to Rage Fire. I'm still excited for that new dungeon, the Alliance Rage Fire, which is I was just thinking it's kind of funny because the Horde get Ragefire Chasm, which fire is in the name, and it's a very fiery place. And then the Alliance get the exact opposite, where it's with the frost something trolls, and it's all snowy and it's an ice cavern. So they're like the exact polar opposites of each other. But ooh, I wonder if the dungeon's gonna be in Ironforge. Because there is that, like, unused entrance to Old Ironforge, the big cavern underneath it, and I wonder if they're going to use that, because then it would be a direct parallel to Ragefire Chasm. That would be cool. That would be very cool. But I kind of hope that they don't, so the Horde can do the dungeon, because if they just put it out in Dun Moreau, then the Horde would be able to access it somehow. Although, how would you? How would you get to Dun Moreau as a low-level Horde unless you get a summon? Which are too low-level for Warlocks of that level to even summon people, because they get that at 20. So, who knows? Either way, I'll see you guys next time, and I will, when that patch does drop, I'll try to have a character at that level to go and try out that dungeon, because that sounds very interesting. And I would like to stream doing that for the first time, because first reaction to a new dungeon would be pretty interesting, methinks. So, I'll see you guys later, and goodbye.